What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and where do I even start with this one? Uh, Totally a shock to me. I mean, we've definitely shown some quality over the past set of games, for sure. But to demolish a team like this, it's not something that I thought we had in us. Sometimes it seems like it. Sometimes the way we play, it seems like we have the ability to just go and crush anybody. But we've not shown that. We've not shown that killer instinct. We've not shown that desire to go and really take it to a team and really put them to the sword. But something about today, I think part of the credit for today's victory does have to go to Everton. I really do think they, I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know if it's just a little bit of naivete. I don't know if it was just a lack of desire today, but they kind of rolled over a little bit. Granted, we still had to put them to bed. We still had to do our job and finish the chances that were given to us, and not every one was easy tap in. Yes, we had a couple that were gifted to us, but for the most part, I mean, we had to really play some neat, tidy stuff to get our goals today. That being said, it still kind of looked like a training regimen at some points. The way that Everton defended, the way that they set up today, kind of I don't want to say the lack of willingness to put in a challenge, because that really wasn't it. It felt more like they were just kind of off the pace today. Like they weren't quite up to the same level that we were as far as the speed of play and how quickly we were moving the ball around. It felt like they were just kind of watching as most of it happened. And then only whenever it got close to them did they actually go, oh, yeah, now I need to be ready to go. But at that point, it's too late. So it really did feel like a bit of both. We were really good today, which is good to see. It's good to see us put in a good performance, show the quality that we have. But also, we were helped by the fact that Everton were really, really poor on today. Now, as far as I want to look at Pochettino first, because obviously I had some very strong words for him after the Sheffield match. And to be fair, he showed today that he can at least get us back from an embarrassing result like that. And honestly, I mean, you look at the past 5 matches, it's kind of been embarrassing draw, or 5 before this one, embarrassing draw versus Brentford, good win against Newcastle. Embarrassing draw versus Burnley of 10 men, good win versus Man U. Exciting win, I guess I should say. And then embarrassing draw against Sheffield, great win over Everton. So he's shown the ability at least to bounce back from a poor result. The thing is, though, we want to see now, can we put together a good string? Can we get a good win like we did today, a comfortable win? Can we build off of this and have another good performance off of this one? Because I feel like that's where my frustration is. It's not like we've not had any good performances this season. We've seen several good performances from this team throughout the season. It's can we get consistently good performances? Can we play well, beat a team, and then move on, go to the next match, and then have another good performance and beat another team? Can we do that? And that is where I'm not entirely sure if we can, because we've not seen an ability to do that throughout this whole season. And whether that's the players, whether that's Pochettino, whether it's a bit of both, I feel like it's a bit of both. We do have a very young side, so we're not going to get the consistency that you might get from some more experienced players. But also from Pochettino's point of view, kind of feels like there are moments whenever he sees a couple of good things from a player that comes off the bench, or he sees a good moment and he wants to reward that. And sometimes that one good moment is not exactly a sign of he's on form, he's going to do great. It's just a good moment. And there are times whenever he needs to put a bit more faith in certain players, and I guess not as much faith in other players. So I feel like it's kind of been that bit of a mixed bag, where sometimes, yeah, the players need to step up more. Sometimes Pochettino, his tactics, the way he sets up the team, sometimes that needs to improve. But coming from this game, I think it's a good performance, it's a good win, good look for Pochettino. But now the important thing is, can we do this again? Can we go into the next match and not get embarrassed? Because that's really where I feel like this season we have struggled, is back-to-back really good performances. As far as the players are concerned, it's really hard to give individual ratings because everybody just played well today. I mean, this was a game, even Caicedo looked phenomenal today because it was a pretty straightforward match for everybody. I think the biggest kudos, in my opinion, have to go to Petrovic in the defense, because while it wasn't a perfect game, there was the one Beto was offside, but still that little bit of a chink in the armor where cross comes in, Beto has a free header at the back post. Now you could say good on the defense for all of them being in a straight line, so that way he's offside. However, there still is that moment where ball comes in and Chalobah no clue what's behind him, and Beto beats him to it too easily. But that being said, I mean, it's a clean sheet. And that's not something we've been able to keep very regularly throughout the season. I also do want to point out, no Betty Shield today, and we keep a clean sheet. Go figure. But no, from, I think, Petrovic's point of view, he did have to make a couple of pretty good saves. Nothing too spectacular today. Nothing like I've been talking about where it's a difficult save to make and he needs to make it to keep us in the game. He didn't have to do any of that today, but he did have a couple that were a bit more reactionary. He had to be alive to it, so I thought he played well enough today, but he wasn't required to be world class like I've been asking from him. Chalobah and Silva, both of them look solid today. Kept it pretty clean back there. Nothing silly, nothing stupid on the ball. And then defensively, for the most part, tracked the runners pretty well. Cucurella, Gusto, thought they both played pretty well. Nothing too spectacular from either of them. And again, it's not a game where either of them were required to be top of their game. They both just had to do the basics of it. Track your man, be in the right place at the right time. And I think they did a good job of that. As far as Gallagher and Caicedo in the midfield, I mean, again, it seemed a pretty easy game for both of them. Caicedo, he very rarely puts in a performance like this. The times when he does, it tends to be against a team where it's easier for him to play in the midfield. It's not as fast-paced, it's not as rough. So I think he was helped by that today. Just my own personal opinion. Obviously, people might disagree. Some people might say, oh, we're finally seeing the best of him. I don't think we are. I think this was a game where he was not required to be the 100 million pound signing that we made. And so he looked phenomenal because he wasn't really tested today. But Gallagher, he always works hard, and it was good to see him, I guess, show a bit of his quality today, because I really thought the way he got up and down the field, I think it sort of shows he can play that deeper midfield. And we've seen him do it before. But for the most part, Pochettino likes to stick with Caicedo and Enzo in there. I really do think that Enzo and Gallagher is our best midfield pairing at the moment. But of course, we're not going to see that because, for whatever reason, Caicedo just needs to play every single match. But going forward, though, I mean, Palmer, I don't know what else I can say that other people have not already said. He's on top of his game right now. He is flying. He looks the world beater that everybody was talking about at the beginning of the season. Those first few matches when he started to show some of his quality, started to pop up. People were like, oh, this kid's got something special. And I did not expect to see it this soon, but we are. We're seeing how special he is. We're seeing how much quality he has. And getting 4 goals, yeah, it's against a poor Everton side. One of them's a penalty, but who cares? He really had to be at his best today. And he was, and we got to see that. And we got to see what that can bring for us. We got to see how much quality he can bring. The fact that he's tied with Haaland for the Golden Boot race at the moment, I mean, that's, for a kid of his stature and a team like Chelsea, how much we've struggled this season. For him to be tied with a guy like Haaland, who is at Man City, the top club in England, for him to be up there with him, it's just, there's something special about this kid. And I really hope we manage to hold on to him, because there's a very good chance that some better offers are going to come knocking, and who knows? He's not Chelsea born and bred, so there's no guarantee that he's going to be willing to stick around here. But I really hope we can hold on to him, because if so, we have a very, very special talent on our hand. In the midfield, or in the middle, I think it was it was kind of a mixture. Sometimes Madueke would slide out right. Sometimes Mudryk would slide in. It was kind of all over the place, honestly. But Palmer, I think, tended to stay more in the central. But Madueke, again, another game from him where he is doing certain things well, and then there are other moments when he can get a little frustrating. He tries to do a little too much. So he's a very up and down sort of player for me. Mudryk worked hard. Unfortunately, his finishing in the final third was just not up to scratch again. And I think that's just kind of been the story of his season. Like, he does tend to work hard. He does tend to look dangerous. But his passing, his shooting, it's not always the best. And today, he did have, I think it was the pass to Jackson that set up the second goal for Palmer. That was it was a good pass in. But that's really the only thing I can remember from him that was effective in the final third. The rest of his stuff was a little too easy to save, a little too easy to block. I don't know. I feel like he just needs to step it up more. We are seeing the hard work. We are seeing how much he wants to be out there. But I think his quality, his finishing quality, needs to be better. If not, we're going to need to look for other options, because we can't keep relying on a guy. As much as I loved Werner, very much the same thing. A lot of hard work, a lot of effort, does look dangerous and does cause the defense a lot of problems. But final third, finishing, all of that, it's just never been good enough. Then Jackson up top, obviously he got himself a goal today. I think he got a couple assists as well. So, overall, pretty decent performance from him. But I did obviously want to address elephant in the room, Madueke, Jackson, the whole penalty debacle. It does go to show, that this team, it's still not a team. It's still not. You think about, Man City, you think about Liverpool, think about those teams where it feels like they are growing together. It feels like it's a unit. They all work together. They all play for each other. I still don't really feel that from this team. And that moment, where Jackson and Madueke are fighting over the penalty when it's clearly going to be Palmer's. He is our penalty kick taker. Anytime he's on the pitch, he should be taking a penalty. Like, that is end of story. Unless he wants to give it up, he's going to take the penalty. So to see them squabbling over it, it was silly. It really was. And it's not a good look. It's not a good look for the players. It's not a good look for the coach. It's something that Pochettino needs to nip in the bud, because we can't be having that. But unfortunately, we are a young team. We're not really a team of players that seem to get along really well. It's a bunch of guys that have been brought together this season and said, hey, everybody go out there, see what happens. So that's part of, again, a Bowley problem, what he's done since he's come in, what his transfer policy has been. This is what you get. You get a bunch of individuals that are in it for themselves, are in it for their own glory, instead of trying to play for the team and make the team better. So it's an embarrassing moment, and it's something that, again, for Pochettino, his credit, he needs to figure out what he's going to do about it. Obviously, I don't think you can really bench both of them, because we don't have another striker outside of Jackson and Madueke. We don't really have much past him on the wing, because Sterling's not really been playing that well. So it's one that it's going to be a difficult situation for him to navigate, but we need to see a response from the team. We need to see these players show that they are learning from their mistakes. Past that, looking at the subs, trying to even remember what order the subs came on. I know Chukwuemeka came on at some point. Didn't really see too much from him, if I'm being honest, especially in the high hopes that I have for him from what we saw previously before the injuries. I was really hoping he would come back from injury, he would be involved, and we'd see a lot of that positive play that we saw before. And honestly, I've just not seen much from him, and it's kind of disappointing that we're not. He's not playing terribly. I have these high expectations for him. I want to see him being dangerous and constantly creating, and I just don't really see that, unfortunately. So hopefully he gets it back under his legs, gets the time back in him, and from that he can start to find that form that he had before the injury. I had to look it up because I forgot. Cassidy and Chilwell came on next. Obviously for Chilwell, We just need to see him getting more minutes and staying fit, staying healthy, because if we lose him again to injury, I mean, we can't really afford to at this point. But hopefully, obviously he got himself a decent shot off that Gilchrist finished, but it's just good to see him back out there and playing again. But I mean, for him, it's more so, can he stay fit? Can we keep him from getting injured again? And fortunately, we've not seen any sort of evidence that that's possible. For Cassidy, though, good to see him get some decent minutes under his legs. At the point when he came on, I wasn't fully paying attention because the game was done, basically. But I remember a couple of moments from him where he looked confident, looks like he wants to win the ball, take on players. He doesn't look shy. He doesn't look like he's going to go out there and be scared to get hit by anybody. So it's good to see from him. He's a player that I know he's had his ups and downs, even playing for the U21s. Obviously, he was a part of a very successful Leicester club this season, the first half of the season. So I have also high hopes for him as well. But I feel like the few moments he's come in, I've not seen anything that gets me super excited. That makes me feel like, yes, he's going to be phenomenal. So we'll really have to see. The more time he gets, the more involved he gets. Will he grow? Will he get better? Will he get to a point where he can be effective for us at this level? Because so far, he's just kind of gone out there and been energetic for us. The final two subs, Washington comes on, and his was just more of a time-wasting sub, if I'm being honest. But for Gilchrist, though, good for him to get the goal that will hopefully build his confidence. Because I think he's shown some moments of quality. He's shown some moments of at least a desire and ethic to really work hard, and not just for himself, but for the team. Like, he wants to be here. And that's something that, I've talked about it before. I don't feel that from a lot of these players. And again, going back to the penalty situation, that kind of shows a lot of these guys, they just want to be here for their own glory. So to have guys like Gallagher, like Gilchrist, guys who want to work hard for the team and love this club and want to see this club succeed, it's really important that we not only keep hold of players like that, but also give them chances to impress. And that's where I've been frustrated with Pochettino a bit, because it feels like Gilchrist, it's not even really an option for him unless we are just desperate for time, desperate for players. We're dealing with a ton of injuries. Gilchrist is your only option. I guess let's put him in. When it should be, no, Cucurella has not been playing well. Let's give Gilchrist some time. Let's, slide Gusto out to the left side, put Gilchrist on the right. Like, let him grow. Let him show what he can do. So for him to get the goal, though, I think it'll really help not only boost his own confidence, but it'll help boost Pochettino's confidence in him as well, and hopefully let him give him some more time. Because I really do think we've got a potential, not necessarily a world beater with Gilchrist, but definitely you look at somebody like Lamptey, I think it's kind of that same sort of mindset where he's not going to be phenomenal, but he's going to be a good player. He's going to be somebody that we can rely on in the moments when, when James gets injured for the 5th time in a season. Well, we'll have Gilchrist there who can back him up, who can give us a good option, instead of having to turn to somebody like Cucurella, who is not ready for this level. So, but all in all, it's a good win. Again, a lot of the question's going to be, can we take this into the next game and show we can have consistency in this team? That's where I'm not entirely sure, but who knows? At this point in this season, who knows? Because I don't think anybody's been able to predict the season that Chelsea's had, because it's been absolute insanity. But anyways, that's it for me. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on the game today? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Chelsea reviews. And until next game, hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you all later. Peace out.